Today on cooking frozen leftovers from the garden, we're making tomato sauce. First step, onion. Onions are always useful. Actually, the first step is to get a pot of water boiling for the pasta, but the instructions, do those. Are your eyes watering? The basis of all Italian dishes: olive oil, and a lot of it. And then, I don't know, maybe some garlic. It's also Italian. Garlic water. Come on. I hope that's enough. Add those onions you chopped. All right, some frozen fresh tomatoes. Pull the lid out of the dishwasher. Still clean enough. I don't normally add tomato paste, but since I have so much, this is pizza sauce, but it's really just tomato paste because I bought the cheapest stuff available. I'll add some of this. All right, since we're making Italian food, we need Italian meatballs. It's difficult to find the Swedish variants. You have to go to IKEA for those. Tomatoes are starting to defrost and pop. The meatballs are still very frozen. Now that everything's up to temperature, we've got a simmer, and adding that tomato paste added a little bit more liquid than I had anticipated. So we're now trying to get rid of that. Normally it would be done. Actually, who am I kidding? I've never made this before. So continuing to simmer to try to reduce. Let's add some dry stuff because that will absorb some water. So here's some Italian seasoning to make this authentic. Never used that joke before. Here's some basil leaves to make it basil. Yeah, herbs really do help the smell profile. And here's some textured vegetable protein to make it industrial. TVP doesn't really need to cook all that much, but it does need a few minutes to absorb moisture. And so actually this will really help reduce the sauce very rapidly. And I like textured vegetable protein. While I make fun of it as an industrial product, it is cheap. It's kind of a byproduct. Maybe, I don't know if it's a byproduct, but yeah, it helps thin out the meat impact to my dishes. Last year I made a similar dish where it was the frozen tomatoes with olive oil. I think I used a little bit of kale. I don't know about the onions, but textured vegetable protein was the only protein source in that dish. It turned out really well. All right. Now, I did add a splash of heavy cream because I had it in the fridge and it makes everything delicious. So this is now still a red sauce. Take your pasta. I think these are called tortellini in the USA and probably called something else in Italy. They are the best at holding sauce. And that's the most important thing for pasta, delivering sauce to me. And lastly, add some Parmesan cheese after you realize that this container's never been opened before. And lastly, add some Parmesan cheese. All right. And verdict. It's hot. Actually, it's delicious. Yeah, we'll make again. I think next time... Is there anything different I would do? No, I might forget the meatballs because they were a spur of the moment purchase I just found at the beginning of Walmart or Winco. But this is an excellent way. The problem that I have is that after I harvest the tomatoes, I don't want to can them, and so I just throw them in the freezer. You want to make sure they're washed before going in the freezer, but otherwise it's still a very quick way to get them from the garden to storage when the tomatoes are cranking out. And the cherry tomatoes really make an excellent sauce. Even without all the extra ingredients, the skin provides a lot of texture to the sauce, and since these homegrown tomatoes are so sweet, this is delicious. All right, there you go. For all those frozen tomatoes out there.